Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is still doing well, and welcome to today's second half. Before we jump into this very terrifying set of experiences that this young dad and his family are going through, a couple links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support the channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost you a cent. Click the like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all of these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. And yes, folks, they definitely do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump into tonight's second half, shall we? All right, guys, today I have a subscriber who reached out to me asking for some help. He lives in Kentucky. He's got a lot of strange stuff going on. He has photographic evidence of some strange stuff going on. Junior, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you for taking some time out of your night to come on and share what's been going on with us. I know there's a lot of stuff that you have had happen. I'm going to give you the floor so you can kind of paint the picture. And pretty much, guys, what we're looking for is he's going to share what's been going on. And he'd really like some suggestions and how to deal with this and how to make it go away, because he's kind of at a loss of ideas at this point, because he's actually done a lot. So, Junior, the floor is yours, my friend.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, man. I really do. I appreciate the opportunity, really, to just let me get this out there so I can get a little bit of understanding on what's going on.
No, I completely. You've actually reached out to a lot of different people. I mean, Indian shaman, this, and that. So you've tried to figure out what the heck is going on. So.
Yeah, I've even had, I've had, as far as that goes, I've had pastors and preachers, just anything I could to try to figure out what's going on, because, the craziest thing is when you've got kids, and a family, you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, I got to protect them. Right?
Yeah.
So you figure out, you see something like this and you think, okay, well, how in the hell do I protect my family from something that I don't know what is?
Right.
Or can you even kill it?
Right.
Is it that?
So why don't you start from the beginning, when it all started? Paint us the picture of, how it all started to happen.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. All right, so it began probably right around the beginning of December, I want to say, is when, like, the actual first time we ever seen anything. Like I told you, was, we were, it was late. It's probably like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, the first time we ever noticed anything, because my old lady gets up to go to work at 4.
Okay.
Well, what happened is I was watching the security cameras, because, we got a problem with thieves. So, and really the reason for the cameras in the first place, though, only was because we've been trying to do a self-sustainable thing, and we invested in some hogs.
Okay.
I invested in a male and a female. And, well, it seems like the first time I ever caught anything on camera was, like I said, it was about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I was looking at the camera, and I seen what looked like, something you seen in the movies. What I sent you the picture of it like, that's how I seen it.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, it it's the stump, because we've got a stump down there of a tree. You know, it's cut about halfway down, but the way it's sitting up on the hill, you know, it doesn't look like it's very big. So I'm thinking to myself, that's that stump. I'm seeing that stump. I've been up a couple of nights in a row trying to fend off coyotes from the pigs. I'm thinking to myself, well, what I thought was the coyotes at the time. But whenever she backed up, the lights hit it even better. And I'm thinking, no, I'm seeing things. That's that stump. I've been up too long. It's bullcrap. So I went to bed, didn't think about it at all. Got back up the next morning, and like I said, I played the cameras back, and it was still there. Like, it was on the camera, it's still there, it's still standing there. But to me, I'm thinking there's got to be something making that stump look like that. Like, there's got to be a branch off of it or something, branches off of it, you know, that is just throwing the figure off because it's so dark. Well, that next night, my wife's cousin, well, it's our cousins, was here because it wasn't just her. And, you know, this same thing's standing down there again. And I'm like, in the exact same spot. I told her exactly what I said. I said, there's no way that it's an animal standing in the exact same spot, the exact same way, 2 nights in a row. It's not possible. If it's an animal, it's not going to do that I thought anyways. So I go back outside. I'm yelling at this thing. I can't see it physically outside. All I see is the wood pile and nothing else. Just the truck. There's nothing there. There's nothing in between it. I can't see it. She says it's still standing in the same spot. Well, I start yelling at it, and I've got the door open so I can hear what she's saying. She looks, you know, and I'm kind of listening, and she says, Lonnie is looking at you. I said, you're crazy. I said, you are absolutely crazy. That thing's not, there's nothing down there. And she's like, I promise you, it's looking at you. I said, no, you're nuts. You need to quit. Like, you need to quit. You need to stop. So I go back and look at the camera. It's looking at the house now. That's when I was like, okay, maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe they're seeing it, then I'm not nuts.
Right.
Something's going on.
Now, so everyone knows, where you were standing, you can't see where the thing was, so it kind of turned its head or whatever to look kind of in your direction, but you couldn't see it, it couldn't see you, but the cameras could see it.
Yeah, like, I couldn't see it at all. I didn't see nothing whatsoever. But when you look at the camera, it's still on the camera, and it's looking right at the house.
Right.
Like, it looks like it's looking right in my direction, but you can't really tell what it's looking at. You can just tell it's looking at the trailer.
Right. Okay.
And so we let it go. We never thought, you know, we just didn't think nothing else of it. We didn't really even talk about it until, you know, a couple of weeks go by, and now we're going down to feed the pigs, and now we're finding these huge three-toed footprints. Like I said, you know, we've got the pictures of all this. And so at that point, like I said, I called the local vet, and he comes down, and, you know, he takes care of my dogs and my pigs, and he looks directly at me and says, I don't know what the hell that is. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, in my head, I'm thinking, well, that makes me feel better.
Right.
And he's like, I've never seen nothing like that. He's like, that's a first. I couldn't tell you what kind of animal made that.
And he's an older guy, so he's dealt with, you know, like you said to me, he's got to be in his 80s. He's an older guy, so he's well aware of animals and prints and stuff like that, because that's what he's been doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually showed, you know, the picture I sent you, I actually showed it to his receptionist that's up front, the ones that help him out.
Yeah.
And his assistants. And those ones, neither one of them could tell me what it was. they both of them had the most extreme look on their face ever. You know, they could tell that it was like, wow, this was really caught right down the road, because I'm not that far from them.
Right.
You could tell they were a little concerned, because I was like, it's not a small animal.
Yeah, that's insane. So
And then
after
go.
that, how many days? What happened after that? Kind of.
Well, after that, so after the vet couldn't tell us couldn't tell us what kind of footprints we were dealing with. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've got to be dealing with a hungry bear. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I'm not much, I'm not a big wildlife person, never have been really. This whole farm life thing is kind of new to us a little bit, and we're trying to figure it out. I'm thinking bear, maybe it's hungry, but then my uncle suggested, well, bears are probably they're hibernating right now, so I don't see them. I'd say, well, maybe it's a weird bear, maybe you don't know, it could be anything.
Right.
So here I am. I'm thinking, okay, I've got a bear problem. It's got to be a big bear or something. Just, we got black bear. I'm thinking, you don't really see them that much, though, so I'm thinking, but it's a possibility. So then somebody suggested a big cat. I said, well, okay, maybe it is a big cat. Because they had rumors. I've never seen no proof of it, but there was rumors of supposedly there was a panther or a couple of them that were loose through here. And I've never seen no evidence of that, but anything's possible.
Right.
I definitely believe that nowadays. Anyway, so I'm thinking big cat, and all I'm thinking in my head is I'm like I've invested money into these pigs now. I'd be damned if I'm gonna lose them to something stupid. So, I think it was maybe like it was about a week after we found the three-toed prints. And then now all of a sudden we're finding these big hoof prints. Like, we're not talking like a Clydesdale. We're not talking like my uncle suggested they were giant. They were huge goat prints.
Mm.
Okay, so then I'm thinking, I don't know the difference. I'm like, all right. Just to me, it looks like a big hoof print, and it's just crazy. Never see nothing. Can't capture on camera what's making the prints. Can't figure it out. Well, and then, yeah, it was that night that we found the hoof, or it was the night after we found the hoof prints that we heard this ginormous whatever it was hit the roof. It jumped off the hillside straight on the roof. The entire family hears it. Everybody's just looking around and looking at each other like, what the hell is that?
Right.
So I go back outside. Like I said, this time I've got the rifle. I'm like, you know what? We're going to figure out what it is. Because all of a sudden, then it's the next thing you know, they're running up and down the back of the trailer. Sounds like just knocking on the back of the trailer. Just all the way down the trailer. I'm thinking to myself, somebody's got to be messing with us. It's got to be the neighbors, maybe the crackheads down the road. I don't know, but somebody's messing with us.
Right.
And it's just, it got annoying. It got to the point to where, like, okay, now I'm trying to go to sleep and I'm pissed off. Yeah. So I go back outside. I load the 100-round mag, and I'm like, you know what? I'm cutting something in half. I'm like, if it's a grown man, he better hope he can outrun this, because I'm pissed at this point.
Right.
So I'm outside, nothing. Can't see nothing, can't find nothing. I go back in. It's about 3 o'clock, so I call the state police. I told the state police, I said, look, I've got motion sensors going off everywhere. The security lights are going off everywhere. But I can't see nothing. I can't find nothing. I was like, I'd appreciate it if somebody could come out and, do a walk around and just make me feel a little bit better about it. Like I told you, the guy pulls up, comes up the driveway, and he stops. And he gets out. And, like I told you, I'm not going to be an asshole. I would never send, anybody into something that I knew that could possibly be dangerous or, might hurt somebody.
Right.
So I actually showed the state trooper the picture that I sent you that we'd captured on the security camera. And I told him, I said, look, this may still be out here, man, so be careful. He just kind of laughed about it. I knew the guy wasn't taking it serious. Probably at this point, he probably thought we were playing a prank on him at this point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking to myself. That's what I would have been thinking, if I'd have looked at that picture too. I ain't going to lie to you. So he pulls around, and so he goes to walk around the front of the deck. He stops, and now he's unbuckling his little clip for his gun. He's got his hand on his gun now. Turns around, walks back to his car, and yells out, "Hey, I'm going to go to the top of the road up here where I can see your property, and I'm gonna check around. I'm gonna see if I see anything up there." So, look, the guy either got a really bad feeling, or he seen something I didn't, and it scared the shit out of him, because he wasn't about to walk around the rest of the house.
Yeah. So he got. How far were you, like, from him when he went? Like,
I was standing. I met him at the front, at the steps at the bottom of the deck.
Okay.
He literally made it to. I'd say he made it about, I don't know, 5 yards. 5.5 yards before he was unbuckling his gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and
then he just takes off, and like I said, you said he was going to check the hilltop. You did see him go up there. He wasn't just blowing you off.
Right, yeah. No, he actually didn't blow me off. See, the beeping you hear in the background, I don't know if you can hear that or not.
Yeah.
But that beeping is all my motion detection, or the motion sensors on the cameras are going off right now. I'm looking at them right now, and there's nothing out there.
That's so weird.
I got no bugs. I got nothing. Like, it does this every night. This is an every night thing.
Yeah.
And it has been since everything's started happening.
Yeah. So now with this happening, I don't know if much more has happened after that, but you did say stuff gets weird. But I kind of want to key into everybody what you told me. Like with they kind of just started plowing behind your property to, going through forests and whatever to do new roads, I guess, right?
Actually, yeah. They started construction. They started blasting through the backside of my mountain. They actually, they didn't purchase, they kind of took 3 acres on the backside of my property. And they've been blasting through the mountain to make way for the new highway they're putting in.
And that land that you live on is Cherokee land as well.
Yeah. It is supposedly, because after this started happening, like I told you, I looked it up, and from what I can understand is this is a place that they stopped on the Trail of Tears or something like that. And they said that this is supposedly some sort of sacred ground.
Okay.
Supposedly, and I'm kind of getting that now, because I'm telling you, it's been the craziest thing ever since they started blasting.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the way you've been explaining everything to me, this is kind of where you and I stopped our conversation, and then I started recording. Yeah. So this is kind of a repeat for me. Now, you do have a Native American friend who has an uncle or a relative who is a shaman. Now, he came and helped you out too, right?
Well, it's his I guess the tribe's shaman, because he actually still lives on the reservation.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, I didn't know who else to call. I met him a long time ago, and we've been friends a good 10 or 15 years. And I didn't know who else to call once I seen, because leading up to that, what happened is after the prints and, after all that, it was probably about a week after the hoof prints and after the vets, is that how do I explain it? We were all sitting here, and the same thing started happening again, man. The knocks on the back of the house, all that crap. So, I called up a few relatives, and I said, "Hey, look," I said, "I've got something going on. I've got a wild animal. I've got a bear. I've got a cat. I've got something." See, like right now, I'm outside right now, and as soon as you step outside, sometimes, like if you're talking about it, you can it really feels like there's something gets close to you. But, so, I want to say a week. I had that problem. I called them, and I was like, "Hey, look, guys, something's got to be done. Either somebody's going to come over and help me hunt this thing." I said, "I'm dealing with it tonight. I'm not putting up with it no more. At this point, I'm getting pissed because sometimes, my son is 3 at this point, and he's woke up real easy. Well, absolute immortal hell breaks loose that night. And I say that because, my uncle's got an AK-47, my cousin's got a 40, and so I didn't find it necessary to bring out anything else big, so I grabbed a shotgun. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, we got it covered. We combed the entire woods. Which ain't much left now, but there's probably about an acre and a half, 2 acres left now. So we're combing the woods. We all started on one end of the property line, and we just kind of worked our way through them. Nothing. Can't find nothing. We don't see anything. So, we walked down to my mother's house, which is right below me, it's just a camper. Since my father passed away, she just was trying to downsize, and she's built her a nice little camper up with a porch and stuff. So she's not here. We sent the girls off to Granny's and Reuben, and we're sitting in there, and we hear that same boom on the tent on my trailer. We bust out the door, and to this day, man, what I seen, it was standing on the edge of my deck, and it was curled around it, sort of like it was peeping around to see who was standing on the deck. And when we busted out the camper door, and it stopped what it was doing instantly, and it looked right at us. And look, that thing, its eyes were solid red, man. Could have been the light beaming off of it from my flashlight.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. But this thing was, it was going so quick, and it was so big. For it to move as fast as it did is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, man. Because when it hit when this thing literally noticed us looking at it, and it looked at us and we seen it, I locked eyes with this thing. I see that thing when I go to sleep.
Wow.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't. That's all. I've had night terrors ever since.
Can you give us a description of what you saw?
Hang on, let me get a little closer to the front door here.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to burn garbage right now. Just some excess cans and stuff I burn off, and yeah, I get to talking about it, and stuff starts moving. I'm not even kidding. But anyway, a description of it, man. It was tall for sure, because my deck altogether it's 16. Well, yeah, almost 16 foot. From the bottom of the deck to the top of the roof.
Okay.
So I'd say altogether it was probably anywhere from 9 to 11 foot. It was huge. Its shoulders were massive. It's the biggest thing I've ever seen, man. I'll be honest with you. It's like when you're a kid, or as you're growing up and you're watching horror movies,
yeah,
and you think, your parents, and you get a little scared of them, and they kind of beat it in your head. Oh, that's make believe, that's phony. Yeah, throw that out the window.
Yeah.
Just throw it out, man, because I'm telling you right now, I really haven't watched a horror movie since, kind of, to be honest. And it was huge, man. It was but it's not like what you would see on the movies.
Right.
I don't know if you want to call this Sasquatch. I don't know what you want. I don't know if
was its face was it did it have like a snout, or did it resemble?
It did, but not a big one.
Okay.
It did, but not a long one. It didn't look like a Dogman, from what I've been able to tell. Because believe me and you when I say I've looked over and over and over time again at different pictures just to try to find this thing.
Right. Was there a tail?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Huh.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was a tail. It was a long tail. It didn't have bent back legs.
More human-like?
Yeah. And covered in head to toe in gray and black fur.
Okay.
Like long hair, not like your short hair or, you know what I'm saying, or fluffy hair. It had long, nasty, it smelled like death.
Right.
It smelled like decaying flesh.
Wow.
I honestly to God, every time this thing was close, because we chased it, believe it or not, us, being us, we thought, well, you know, in our minds, we're thinking, because after I locked eyes with it, man, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really want to come off the porch. The other two were already off the porch. They were up the hill, off the porch, and up the hill trying to run it around the house. Well, that's how I seen it move, because I didn't come up off the porch. When this thing dropped its head, and when I tell you it dropped its entire body, and it was gone.
Wow.
In a flash. Like it left us tracer. Like, have you ever seen like light tracers?
Yeah.
That's what looked like was behind it as it was gone.
Wow.
And so we chased it around back. We chased it to the top of the hill. What we thought we were chasing it. We weren't chasing this thing. This thing was watching us from somewhere. It was sitting somewhere, probably laughing at us. Because it's probably thinking, yeah, look at these guys. Look at them running around with flashlights looking like idiots.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even kidding, because I swear sometimes, like after about an hour or two afterwards, it's like this thing would kick a rock or throw a tree just to put us right back on its trail.
How long were you like kind of tracking this thing, or, you know, chasing it down or whatever?
Well, it spent the majority of the night like just messing with us, man.
Right.
Just messing with us, like knocking on. Like every time we'd be like, okay, it's gone. We're not seeing it no more. We're not hearing it no more. You know, everybody's tired. I'd say it was a good 8 hours.
And it was you and two of your friends?
It was me, my uncle, and my cousin. My wife was still here. She left and took the girls and my youngest son to my granny's, right. But she come back.
What was your uncle and your friends like? What was their kind of, I guess, what was the conversation like?
Well, this is where like I started to feel, I don't know, I guess like I was going crazy, man, because my uncle seen the eyes. Right. I know he did, because he made the statement flat out. He said, I've never seen anything like that. But then afterwards, it was like, when I tried to talk to him about it, oh, that was just a big cat. That was a big cat standing on its back legs on your barbecue. I was like, no, you know it wasn't. The footprints, it was cold out, right? So the ground was froze. So for something, hang on just a second, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
So, it was cold out, so it was froze. You know, for something to make a footprint, it had to be huge.
Right. So
there was two footprints right by the barbecue. He's seen those prints with me, and even himself. You know, he wouldn't. I tell you, put it this way: he wasn't running up through the mountains no more.
Right.
But yeah, you know, that's what I said. This is where I feel like I'm crazy, because when it comes to talking about it, everybody just instantly was like, no, it was a big cat, it's a big bear, it's a.
But they all took part in chasing the thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Huh.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, if you knew it was a big cat or a bear, which I mean, they're used to hunting things like that, but you know, not me. You know, but you know, when my uncle looks at me and he's like, you know, I've never seen nothing like it before. You know, you're talking about a guy that done a buttload of time in the Navy. I mean, he's done all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's a little on the fearless side.
It's almost like he doesn't want to admit that he saw something that he can't explain. Yeah. Exactly.
And then, you know, that's where it started. That was the beginning of all the official craziness, because the next few nights we had to leave our house by 6 o'clock and stay in a hotel room. We stayed in a hotel room for 3 nights in a row because it got so bad.
Wow.
Yeah, it got real bad. Because this is before the shaman, this is before the preacher, you know, this is before anything because, after we're chasing this thing off, that next night at about 7:30 is when we decided to pack up and go to a hotel because, my mom, my uncle, and all them was like, don't worry about it. It's not going to fool with you. It's not going to come in the house, this and that, whatever. Well, it started throwing stuff against the backside of my trailer. Whatever this thing was, it literally was throwing shit against the backside of the trailer. It was literally playing, like it was just, like it was kidding, like it was kids playing or something. Just,
right.
I don't know. It was crazy. And so we got scared enough that the kids just, they didn't want to stay here.
Well,
so,
you got kids, I mean,
right.
you got to think about them. You can't, really focus if your kids are scared, and I can't
Really,
blame you.
that's the whole, and that's most of the problem that was going on, Then again, it goes back to what I was saying about, how do you protect your family for something you don't know what it is?
Yeah.
And I get weird about it because, and then if you start to tell anybody, nobody believes you. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, oh, this guy's going crazy. And then especially around here, the first thing you want to say is, oh, well, he's probably on drugs. He's probably seeing stuff.
Right. I mean, you obviously
got no record whatsoever.
You sound coherent to me. You don't sound like you're on the meth or, like you reached out to me, and I mean, we've messaged each other, and you sound coherent to me. So it's not like
it's crazy though, man. It just is how people will, and people can see the evidence right in front of their face. You know what I mean? Like, I showed my mother, I showed everybody. I mean, I'm talking, when I show you these pictures, you're going to be like, how can you say this guy's crazy? Because I'm telling you, they're that good. Like,
the one picture that you sent me, which had the two, different angles, or not angles, but different, you can clearly see this figure. You can see that it has a muzzle, that there is something, I mean, it's not clear because it's CCTV, but it's there. It's not a stump. It's not pareidolia. Right. It's something.
See, and check it out. I'll tell you something also to look on that. I mean, because if you want to, you're more than welcome to post that picture. If you look close on that picture though, you'll notice if you look against the tree, if you look up, that's not a branch. That's actually its claws gripping the tree. And that thing that's whipped around the tree that looks like a dark shadow, that's its tail.
Okay.
If you look at that picture, it took me a while. It did. But my old lady was like, look, she's like, you're looking at this wrong. So what do you mean? She's like, that's its tail and that's its claws. And I'm like, wow, you know what? You're absolutely right. It is. He's holding on to that tree.
Yeah.
Like he's poking around it to see what's up. And, that's the last time. Well, no, that's not the last time. That's actually the first time. There's actually another time that comes around. But like I said, the reason why we had to go to the hotel was that next night after we chased them, man, it, got real. I guess they just decided, well, if they're going to mess with us, well, they're getting it back, because we were getting ready to leave for the hotel. The kids were already on edge a little bit. Everybody was on edge. Man, something grabbed the back door handle, and I can show it to you because I never changed the back door handle. It grabbed it so hard that it indented the back door handle, and it yanked the back door off the hinges.
Wow.
Yeah, and like my kids were screaming instantly because they were right at where the laundry room is, because that's where the back door is, and they were getting their backpacks ready, and it ripped the door open. And from the time I had, like, because I've got a drum clip from my Springfield.
Yeah.
And I think it's either a 32 or a 42. I'm not sure, but by the time I drawed it and just unleashed every pull I could right on that door, or what was it, where the door was, I never hit nothing, man. There wasn't nothing there. That's what I don't get. This is every time. But my kids can tell you a full description.
Right.
That's what's messed up. And, and ever since then, they won't sleep in their own rooms. They still have it.
Now, how old are your kids, if you don't mind me asking?
My daughter's, she's 9, and my son just turned 4.
That's terrible. I
Yeah.
feel so bad for them.
Yeah, my son, literally, you can tell he has night terrors. You can tell it.
Yeah.
He's woke up multiple times screaming because of it. Because in his eyes, you can see where he's not, he's trying to keep himself awake. Because that's why I was saying I was trying to put him to bed, because it takes a good 30, 45 minutes nowadays to get him to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it got bad, man. And then so from that point on out, I told my mom, I said, look, this isn't going to be, it's just not going to be possible. I didn't want to give the land up because, we purchased this together, and my father, who's not here no more, he passed away here. So I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to give up my dad. I don't want to, I just don't. And then the other part of me is like, well, you can't keep your kids around here.
Yeah.
Because for a while, I wouldn't even let them outside, man. It felt dreadful around here. It felt heavy.
Even in the daytime.
Even in the daytime, it just felt hateful. Like it just, like you ever just had that feeling like when you just, something's wrong and it's just, you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the whole family felt, man. And so, we couldn't afford to stay at the hotel much longer. So we stayed there 3 nights. And, we stay here throughout the day. And then about 6 o'clock, we would go, to either hotel. We did that for 3 days. I'm sorry, I heard something right then, too. We did that for 3 days. And then we started staying at my granny's house for a couple of days.
Okay.
Because my granny's an old timer, and she really believes in this stuff.
Yeah.
She says there's always been weird things around here.
Okay. Now, I'm sure you brought it up while you're staying there. What's her opinion? Because I'm starting to form an opinion. And like I said, it's all based on theory. I'm not there. You know what I mean? I'm going off your explanation. But what's her view on this whole thing? Does she have an idea or anything?
No, not really. Grandma's just one of those. Granny's one of the type of people, man. She's 95. You know what I'm saying? She's been here a long time, and she still cooks. She still cleans. She still takes care of herself. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's still a strong woman, and we were talking to her about it. And I said, it's crazy, isn't it, Granny? If a man can't beat the thieves, can't beat the monsters. So she said, son, I'll tell you. She said, anything in this world is possible. She said, never forget that. I said, what do you mean? She said, I've seen things around here before. She said, walking as a young girl. She said, I've seen plenty of things that I can't explain, but I've never questioned them either, because she said, I've never had them happen to me personally. So that's about all I got out of her. Because other than that, she was just, she prayed, and at the time I wasn't a very spiritual person,
Right.
I mean, I believe in God, and I'm a Christian, but it's just gotten to where they, it's just, churches aren't what they're supposed to be nowadays, in my opinion.
Right. No, I understand what you're saying.
So I I do my praying every night and every day, and things like that, and that's as far as it went with her, because that's her, that's her answer.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, I hadn't really been praying every night and day like I should have been, and I started again. I started praying every night and every morning when I would wake up. But this time I was asking questions. I was asking questions. Like, why choose me to show something like this to? What's the purpose behind it? And it was the next day, because we stayed at her house 2 more days, and every day when we would come over here during the day, it was because we have animals to feed. We got to feed the animals. I'd make sure that the animals was okay, because that was the main priority in the beginning anyway.
Right.
So I noticed the animals wasn't being bothered. I'm thinking to myself, well, what's going on?
That's
What do they
weird.
want?
That is weird too, because that's, I think, the first thing I asked you when you said.
Right. Yeah, nothing. No animals have been touched. The chickens have not been touched. I mean, Dale crows every night. This is no lie. And he didn't start this till it started. You can ask anybody here. Like, now my rooster, I got one rooster and two hens. And he crows every night on the clock at 3:01. Every night.
In the morning?
Yeah, 3:01 a.m.
Huh.
Every night. He never done that until it started.
Right.
And so, like I said, it just got dreadful here. It got hateful. Nobody wanted to be here. It was just heavy, man. And so, the next day, after a couple of days at Granny's, we're all here. And during the day, and I told Mom, I said, look, tonight's tonight. I said, look, either this thing's going or it's taking me with it. I said, because I'm not leaving my house another night. Because, I couldn't stand leaving my dogs. I have beautiful dogs inside. They were it was making my house a wreck, everything. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand stuff like that. So I told her flat out, I said, it's got to come down to me or something. Something's got to shake tonight. And so I sit here. Nothing happened. Not a thing. Not a bump. Not a knock. Not a scratch. Nothing. So I'm like, okay, maybe they went on. I told Mom, I said, maybe they moved on. Well, it was probably about 6, I'd say probably right at the beginning of dawn, something started hitting the back wall of the bedroom. Like, it was beating on it, like it was trying to come to the wall. So I laid there with both pistols on my lap. And I was like, well, I guess if it's coming through, it's coming through. And nothing. It quit. Not a peep. Walked outside, looked around, because about this time, about 30 minutes after that is, about the time I walked my little girl to the bus stop for school.
Okay.
Now there's prints everywhere.
Three-toed or hoofed?
Nah. Flat, big, regular footprints, like without a shoe.
Like you'd think a Bigfoot would leave.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So now I'm thinking, I call my uncle, my mom. I'm like, look, that's a footprint. That is a big, no shoe footprint. Somebody running around barefooted. Because I hold my foot up to it. I wear a size 11.5. So I'm holding my foot up to it. I'm thinking, well, that's not big. That's not that big. It's probably like a size 13, maybe 12. I'm like, Mom, that's just someone running around barefooted, man. So now I'm pissed. Now I'm thinking it's one of the crackheads down the road.
Yeah, meth head barefoot running around with big feet.
Yeah, now I'm pissed. Well, I got to look into the footprint. And, I was like doing a little research, listening around, whatever, listening to people talk, because if you listen to old timers around here, man, they'll tell you what you want to know. You just got to listen.
Yeah, exactly.
They will. If they've seen something, heard something, even if it's an old wives' tale, they know it. They're going to tell you.
Yeah, there's usually truth to those wise tales, you know what I mean?
Right. So I get to listen around and stuff. I get to finally, now I'm not scared no more. Now at this point, I'm kind of irritated and I'm curious.
Yeah.
So I look into it, and there I heard, I don't know if it was on, I think it was on your channel. Maybe it was on your channel, or I'm not sure if it was your channel or Dark Waters channel. One of the two. I'd heard a comment, or I'd heard somebody say on one of the stories that, Sasquatch leaves a print, but the way to tell that it was a Sasquatch footprint or whatever was, to check the pinky. Yeah. The pinky toe, because apparently our pinky toes are, where we wear shoes all the time, they go in. Different.
Yeah, they go in.
Okay, well, right. So I go outside. Because I can send you the pictures of these prints too. Everything I'm telling you about, I literally have took pictures of or have on video. Okay. And so because I'll be honest with you, it's drove me nuts ever since. Like there's some days that I really feel like I'm going crazy.
Right. Well, you
And
want
I'm like,
answers, man. It's you, like you said, it's your
right,
property, your family, and
yeah,
there's no answer to something that's just. I mean, it to
yeah, I
me,
can't get no help, man.
yeah.
Can't
To
get
me,
none
it sounds like
whatsoever.
it's just a string of bad events that are just getting weirder as it goes. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so it gets better, man. It's like, so after that, so after I'm curious now, I'm wanting to know. So now I check the I can check the footprint out again, and I'm like, okay, well, what the hell? I'm like, this isn't a Bigfoot footprint. It's not that big. So I'm thinking, it can't be Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking to myself, what do I know about Bigfoot though? I'm like, I don't know shit about Bigfoot. I mean, up until a little bit ago, this has all been movie stuff to me.
Right.
So I'm listening to all these people, you know, anybody that I could show it to, I was showing it to. That's how, I know that, like, I know everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I've done come to the point where I really don't give a shit no more. Now I'm just to the point where, like, I want to figure it out myself,
Right.
or, have somebody help me figure it out. So, so I noticed that, now I'm seeing, this is the only print I'm seeing. Like, all the other footprints stop. There's no more big bear-looking prints. There's no big three-toed prints. There's no hoof prints. There's no, there's nothing else. The only prints I'm finding now are these big, massive footprints, which are the little ones first. Like I said, they're not very big. Didn't look like no Bigfoot to me. Well, they get bigger. So now I'm following these prints like an idiot, because I'm a little pissed off thinking it's going to crack us down the road. So I'm following these prints. They get bigger. I didn't lose those prints, but now there's another set of prints, and they're twice the size. So I'm thinking, okay, wow, what the hell is this? I'm like thinking, well, it's got to be the mud. It's just where they've stepped. They're a little heavy. It's pushed the print out. So I'm not thinking too much into it. And well, I start following them a little more because I'm seeing them every morning now. Every morning I'm feeding the animals. I'm seeing these prints. They're leading right to my pig pen. They're leading right to my front porch. They're leading behind my house. They're leading everywhere, man. So now I've got these footprints, and now I've got something digging at the bank sides. Also,
Behind
like
your
they
house?
literally behind the houses, behind the camper, behind the house, behind the workshop, all the bank sides are being dug out. I can't figure out why. I can't see nothing to it. I mean, I've got literally, you can count them. I've got 10 cameras. There's not a piece of my property, technically. There might be a couple of blind spots that I can't see that, it's pointing on major things, you know what I mean?
Right.
And these hillsides are getting dug out somehow. So one night, I'm sitting here after everything's, actually, I won't say one night, it was the next night. I'm sitting there, and everything's just real quiet. Just real quiet. And we hear the god-awful scream, gurgling noise, I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call it. It sounded like a woman screaming. So I'm thinking, mountain lion. I'm thinking to myself, I'm trying to tell myself anything but this, anything but what I'm really seeing at. You know what I mean?
Right.
Does that make sense? I'm trying to dig it. Like, I'm trying to X out anything normal.
Right.
Because now now I'm starting to feel crazy, man. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just these odd prints from there on out. And then we get this, it's back to beating, banging. I even had something draw pictures on the hood of my car. Not pictures, symbols. I don't know, I guess that's what you'd call them. Somebody called them glimpse.
Okay.
Somebody called them, somebody called it ancient Cherokee text. Because what was drawn on the truck was two arrows. They were crossed. Mm-hmm. Okay, I still haven't figured out what that means. We found another symbol of an arrow, just one arrow. That was just it, just a single arrow drawn. And let's see, that morning was another. They had placed the logs in like a teepee shape.
Okay.
And I'll send you the pictures of those. I don't really know, like, I've got no proof of those being built. Yeah. All I know is every morning you woke up, there was a new one. I mean, the backside of my property is covered in them, man. It's just absolutely covered in them. Like, still, to this day. Like, this stuff hasn't stopped. What I'm telling you is still going on. 100% has not stopped. Like, it's just crazy. So, all right, back to what I was telling you was, you know, after the footprints, I got a guy down the road who's a preacher. Okay. And when I tell you, like, I believe this man is like a warrior for God. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, this guy's crazily knows the Bible front and back. Any conspiracy theory type stuff. Like, he's just a very intelligent man when it comes to the religion. So he comes up here, and this is where things really get weird, because he comes up and he prays and goes on, and he blessed the land, and we put salt around the door frames and around the windows and things like that. Okay. And then I finally got a hold of Paco and sent Paco, you know, a message about what was going on also. And that's when it took him a little while. It took him a while to reply to us, but he finally got his shaman to, you know, tell us what was going on, more or less. It's sort of like his version of blessing the land, I guess. I don't know. I really couldn't understand what he was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when the shaman came out, how was he on the land? Like, how did he act?
Well, he said there was something bad here.
Okay.
He said there was definitely something bad. He said that that's how we figured out about, you know, the trees growing sideways was a grave marker for them, supposedly. And so he says that there's actually 4 or 5 of them right behind the house.
Is that anywhere near where the cliffside or the banks are getting dug out, or no?
Actually, yeah. Okay. Yeah, actually, yeah. Absolutely. You know, and I didn't think about that until you just said that then, but yeah, actually they are. Yeah. The only one that's not near a bankside that they keep digging at is right here in front of my deck is a roll of, like, if you can hear that, but it's like a giant roll of big rocks. Okay. Like rocks that have been buried.
Yeah.
But they're starting to come up through the ground, I guess, because of the rain and stuff.
Yeah.
And those just recently started being dug at. Oh yeah, and everything's still going on. There's nothing that's really changed except for the fact that since they both were here.
Yeah.
Now this is where it gets weird for me, and I mean, everybody that lives here can tell you, because I don't really go out many places. I don't really do a lot of things. Kind of a homebody nowadays. And
that happens when you have kids and a wife.
Right, yeah. And I do most of my work from the workshop anyway. I just do a little bit of welding here and there.
Okay.
And so after both of them are here, the land starts to feel like the house in general, everything starts to feel better. You know what I mean? Nothing's dreadful no more. It's not like, you know, nobody wants to be here no more. Like, it's just like sort of like things are getting back to normal because we've not heard no knocking or anything.
Right.
But where it gets weird for me is now, and this is going to sound extremely weird, but it's almost like when I'm outside, that it's like they're close enough that I can like feel them breathing. Like right now, like I'm standing outside right now, and I can. It's almost like there's no breeze out here, but it's like I can feel them breathing on me. Right. It really is weird. Ever since them two have been here, it's like I can. It's like it's just weird outside. It feels better. It's not dreadful, and I'm not scared no more.
Right.
But it's almost like I can feel them breathing on me, man.
Yeah, that's
like
weird.
like I'm always checking my bag, but always just making sure nothing's actually there. But I swear, man, it's like I can feel them breathing on me, and it's all. Another thing that's weird is, like I said, the same guy that done the preaching out here. Well, when he blessed the land himself, the preacher. I went down to his house, and he's been having some weird things going behind his house, which is just down the road. Okay. I'd say about a mile. And he stumbled on a big grave, like a big mountain of rocks. And I've never, I'm telling you this because I've never been behind his house, ever. Never. I've never been behind his house. I've never been anywhere up through the woods behind his house. And somehow, some way, I could tell him exactly where that grave was without ever being there.
Wow.
It's like I can feel where it's at. Now, how weird is that?
Yeah, that's very strange.
I've never had nothing. Like, I don't know. Like, I've never had nothing weird happen. Like, to where I can, like, it's almost like I could feel it. Like right where it was. Right. And like the day that also that connects to that is the day that he was here, we found a ring of rocks around the tree in the middle of the yard that they took stones from the culvert down here that's being built, and they built a ring around the tree. Huh. And ever since he was here and done that, and then we found that right afterwards. That's what I'm saying. It's like I can. It's just so. It's not dreadful here no more.
Right. It's like
it's
you
almost
can feel
like
them there still.
Yeah, like and I know they are because you can. I'm still capturing things on security camera. Like I gotta send you those.
Right.
As soon as possible because the things that I've caught on there will blow your mind, man. And
really quick, let me the shaman, because you had mentioned this to me.
Yeah.
He had talked about like the big people or something.
Oh yeah. He told us. Yeah, he told us. I'm sorry, I forgot all about telling you that, man.
That's all right.
It's a little late.
Well, no, you can hear your demeanor. Like literally, and I'm sure people that.
It's just so much stuff that's happened.
No, you could hear it going down. Like you could like you sound defeated. You know what I mean? You really do. And
yeah.
I'm sorry to say it because there's a lot of crap going on and that you can't control.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's like I really am starting to feel like I'm going crazy, man, because like I'm noticing things different now.
Right.
Just like I told you, like, okay, well, after the shaman, came and he done his thing, he told us a story. He told Paco, he told us a story that something about that, they used to hold a ceremony here somewhere, and they would build these big wooden rings, and they would like apparently, big man and them. Now I don't know, this is coming from him. I don't know if like this is real or not, but he said that they had these ceremonies to where they used to actually eat together, more or less. Break bread together. They had these ceremonial dances or something.
Right.
Right. And then so apparently one day they were holding one of these, and the story is that they were having a competition, the younger ones and the younger Cherokee, just kind of like wrestling around, playing around and whatnot. And that the big men were so strong that he actually ended up hurting one of the Cherokees.
Okay.
And when he accidentally hurt this kid or this person or one of the Cherokees, from what I got out of it, that it was its first time feeling I guess, regretfulness or pain or something around that, like where he hurt that kid.
Right.
And they backed off. That's when they stopped coming around, but they were still there. They were still taking the peace offerings, and they were still protecting them. They just never actually showed themselves to them again.
Okay.
That's supposedly what happened.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of in native lore. I mean, if you think about how many different names for Bigfoot or, you know, Sasquatch in native, they all have a name for, you know, Sabe, Gugwe. You know, it's all, you know, they're all talking about one entity, which is a Bigfoot. And you know, there is rumor that, you know, they had a pact at one time. So I wouldn't doubt that. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't.
That's what he said. And this is where, like, I should have told you that first, because that's where, after that and all that stuff went down, that's when the land started feeling
Right.
like undreadful.
Now, are they still doing work in the back? I didn't mean to cut you off, but
oh yeah, they still are. Yeah, they're still. That's yeah. Yeah, they're still back there running dump trucks. They're still back there running dozers. They're every day. They don't stop until Friday.
Right. No, right now you're getting the aggression has stopped, but you're still feeling that they're there.
Yeah.
Which obviously stinks, because, you know, when you're upset or your wife is upset, you know, the kids are going to feel it. They know something's going on. And, you know, when you're looking over your shoulder going out into your yard, I mean, it's your yard. You're supposed to be able to just go out in your yard and not really care.
Right.
But, you know, looking over your shoulder in your yard, kids are going to notice that too. So I can feel your pain on that. That's definitely crazy. I really think that you have some sort of, I mean, I'm not an expert, and I don't think anyone is in this field, to be honest with you. And anyone who says they are, in my eyes, is just, you know, kind of kooky. But
yeah,
and that's why I said, hey, come on and share, and let's get, you know, many different opinions. To me, it sounds like there's some kind of restless spirit, or something. The digging in the banks, maybe there was something I don't know. You're doing the right thing by, you know, trying to look at all these avenues.
Yeah, I'll tell you this: the I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but the peace offering thing. I'll be honest. I actually forgot. You know, Kevin. I talked to a guy named Kevin. I'd actually hit a message board up from Facebook about cryptids. Yeah. I posted all those pictures and all those I actually posted the pictures and the video evidence. Yeah. And they got so many hits instantly that my phone literally was freaking out. Yeah. To the point to where, like, every time I posted them, these cryptid the Facebook groups and stuff on Facebook they were blocking me. Yeah. They would delete my post and block me out. Yeah. Yeah. And all I was doing was asking for help. I wasn't asking nobody for nothing. At that point, I was scared, man. I was literally scared. I was like, look, I mean, how do you protect your family when you don't even know what's going on? Right. You got people telling you that there's a Sasquatch here. You got people telling you there's a Dogman here. You got people telling you, that's somebody called it the freaking somebody called it the Barilla. And somebody said,
or something. Yeah, Barilla. Yeah.
And then somebody said there was what did they call it? Some sort of cat. What was that cat called? Crap.
Beast of Bladenboro?
No, there's some little story
the
around
Wampus
here.
Cat. Wampus
cat.
Cat.
There you go. That's it, buddy. Yeah. So I heard that one too. Yeah. So
I'm gonna hit pause really quick, because I just want to say something to you privately.
Yeah.
All right, like I said, I just wanted to ask Junior a question about something. You know, one thing you did say is, after all of this has been going on, with the development behind your property, you did try to call DNR. you called the police.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two government kind of affiliates. You've noticed SUVs around your area. And like you said to me, you were like, they they don't send black and white SUVs going to bust a meth head. It's usually like your local PD. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
And I really think, to me, I think that you've got something very spiritual on your land, but you do have some sort of cryptid, Dogman, Bigfoot, um, maybe like a protection. I'm not sure. And that's one of the reasons why I said, dude, come on, let's get some multiple suggestions, and you know, hopefully we can get to the bottom of this for you. Um,
Yeah.
I'm about up on time. I want to talk to you after this, though. Like I said, is there anything that you kind of might have left out, or is there anything that you'd like to say to the community, really quick?
I mean, not really. I just, except for the fact that I just like to understand what's going on. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
can't get help nowhere else. And people's not crazy. You know what I mean? Like you can see, like if you notice, 10 to 20 white SUVs, black SUVs. You know, that's not your regular task force.
Right.
And ever since then, it's been the weirdest thing ever around here.
In small
You know
town
what I mean? Like,
Kentucky.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, and now, like I told you before, it's like someone keeps trying to get our land. Someone keeps trying to take my land out from under me. That's what they're
Right.
trying to do.
Yeah. Something's up. All right. So this is I'm gonna end the video, guys. But like I said, I normally don't do videos like asking, but if anyone has a suggestion, any kind of uh, what Junior should do, peace offerings are out of the question. Because like I told him and he told me, what happened when you did a peace offering?
Oh, yeah. Well, the first night, nothing,
Okay.
but it was definitely gone. The tobacco was gone, and the beans and rice was gone. But the next night is when, it got aggressive. It was on the porch. It was like it was running up and down the porch, knocking on the front wall. It was knocking on windows. Something actually stood where the air conditioning unit is a window unit. Something actually was standing there because my computer's right there beside it. Something was actually standing at the window growling.
Right. Yeah. And like I said to you, and I heard this from a reliable source, um peace offerings can be good, but they can be really bad too. You give an offering to something, you're inviting it to your property, to your home, and you don't want that. So
No.
if anyone has a suggestion on what Junior should do, what he should possibly look into, please put it in the comment section. I've got a couple of people that I'm going to talk to and put you in touch with anyway, that I think will help you. But other than that, I want to thank you for taking time out of your night to share this with you. I don't think you're crazy. There's obviously something going on. Like I said, you could hear it in your demeanor. You were full of energy, like you were trying to get this out. And then when you had mentioned a couple, when you could hear it in your voice when you were just kind of like defeated.
Yeah, it's just getting crazy, because nothing's going on right now. I mean, like I said, I'm still catching stuff on CCTV because it's like they're not afraid anymore. They're actually like things are starting to show itself now. Like they don't care if we're looking at it or not no more.
Right, and
But
that's
so how long
dangerous.
is it? Yeah, sometimes it feels like maybe they're just playing with their food. I mean, I don't
Right.
know. Sometimes it feels really bad. Like I'm afraid to let my kids outside by themselves.
Yeah, no, and that's that right there is a very that's smart thinking, because when you said they're not afraid to be seen anymore, that at that point that's dangerous, like.
Yeah, it's getting bad, man.
So, and I did ask about farm animals, if any of your animals had gotten hurt, but you said a neighbor's animal?
Yeah, no, none of mine have been bothered, but actually the farm behind us, towards the beginning of this, like two of their calves actually had been drug off, and we found the bodies, we found the bones, nothing but the bones,
right,
down in the back hog lot on my property.
wow. That is incredible. I mean, it's
But they've never eaten nothing here. They've never touched nothing here. All the cats are still here. The chickens, the dogs,
right,
the pig.
Right. And that's the first thing I asked. I was like, "You got chickens?" And you're like, "They haven't touched anything." So, like I said, I've got a guy that I'm pretty certain will have, some suggestions, and I know for a fact he'll want to talk to you. Um, but if anyone has any suggestions, please leave it in the comment section. Junior, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it, and I hope we can get to the bottom of this for you, brother.
Yeah, me too. And I just appreciate you, letting me ask.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna stay in touch with you just to see how everything goes. I hope you don't mind, but I really
no, I don't care.
You're a dad. You're a young guy. You sound, younger than me. So, you shouldn't be going through this crap at your house, at your property. So.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But all right, brother. I'm gonna end this, and I'll talk to you for a little bit after the recording's done. All right.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Well, there you have it, folks. Tonight's second half. Just a horrific experience this family is going through. I hate to say it, but I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. There's a lot of information to learn from right there. Guys, thank you for supporting the channel. It is your support, after all, that keeps the channel growing and going, and honestly what gives people a chance and a place to share their experiences, theories, judgment-free, simply treated with the respect we all deserve. Thank you. Please stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and friends. These creatures are real. They are. These events are real. These creatures are dangerous. These events happen. Share this information with the people you love. It may help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop searching for the truth. Never stop questioning. And never stop looking for the answers. Guys, it's out there. We just got to keep pushing the buttons. God bless.